So let's review the data types that we have available in JavaScript. JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. When we are developing or creating the variables, you don't have to specify the data type in the variable. The data type in variables is defined by the value, not the variable itself. If you already have some experience with other programming languages, for example C, Java, or C#, you have to specify the data type when you are creating the variables. So for example, let's say that you define a variable. I'm gonna add this let variable equals, and I'm gonna add a string. Here at the bottom, I'm going to add console.log, and we're gonna send this variable to the console. Also, we're gonna use an operator, so we're gonna use type of variable. So we can save this, and you can see we have the value. It says 1, and it says that this variable is a string. You can see it right here. So for example, in other languages such as C, Java, or C#, if you specify the data type for a variable, it cannot be changed. In JavaScript, you can add something like this: variable equals 20, and save this, and you can see we have the value 20, and now this variable is a number. And this is happening because in JavaScript, the value, this string, this number, is what defines the data type. The data type is defined by these values, not by these variables. So for example, you can also use variable equals to true, and you can see that the data type in this case is going to be Boolean. A Boolean, remember, is true or false. So if I change this to false, you can see we have Boolean. Also, for example, variable equals to undefined. Undefined is going to be another data type available in JavaScript. So in ECMAScript 6 and newest versions, we have also the symbol. So we're going to add variable equals symbol, and we can pass a description to the symbol. My new symbol. We're gonna cover symbols in greater detail in the upcoming videos, but you can see the data type is symbol. So for example, you can see that we created a variable, and then we changed the value, and the data type also changed. So that's something really important in JavaScript compared with other programming languages. So let's continue reviewing this. For example, if you already have experience with other programming languages, C#, Java, or C, for example, you have float numbers, you have integer numbers, and others. For example, I'm going to add variable equals to 1. You can see this is going to be a number. If I add something like variable equals to 10.2030, it's going to be also a number. It doesn't matter if this number is a float number. JavaScript will treat all the numbers as number. Also, if you add something like variable equals minus 300, you can see also this is going to be a number. So all the numbers in JavaScript are numbers. You don't have floats, you don't have integers, other data types that you will find in other programming languages. Something really important about the numbers is that if you add, for example, variable equals 20, this is going to be a number. But if you add variable equals 20 inside quotes, this is going to be a string. So normally, for example, if you have an input in HTML and you read that value from the input, it's going to be like this with the quotes, and it's going to be a string. But there are many functions in JavaScript that you can pass, for example, this 20 as a string, and it's going to be converted in a number. We're going to take a look at those functions in upcoming videos, but this is important. 20 and 20 with quotes is going to be different in JavaScript. So let's continue reviewing this. I'm going to add booleans here, booleans. And for example, if you add a variable equals true, and you can save this, is going to be a boolean. If you add false, this is going to be also a boolean, different values. So the data type is the same, booleans, but the value is true or false. So let's review the null or null, and we're gonna add another example. We're gonna remove this variable. We're gonna keep this type of operator, and I'm going to add let, for example, let bank savings equals to null, and we're gonna send this to the console. You can see the value here is null, but if we save this, it's going to be an object. The null values are going to be treated as an object in JavaScript. So next, I'm going to add the undefined. Undefined is also a data type that we have available in JavaScript. So let's add, for example, let, and we're gonna create a variable. I'm gonna call this one person, but I'm going to start this variable, and you can see that it doesn't have any value. So we're gonna send this to the console, and you can see that this is an undefined because it doesn't have any values. But if you add something like Juan right here, it's going to be a string. But if the variable doesn't have any value, it's going to be undefined. You can see undefined right here. So that's going to be something really important. When you are checking if a value is in a variable, it will return undefined if the value isn't there. So remember that we also have the symbols. So we'll have symbols. We can add something like symbol ES6 equals to symbol. And also we have something like this is a symbol. You can print this right here, and this is going to be a symbol. We're gonna see, or we're gonna take a look at symbols in upcoming videos where we are checking the latest features in ECMAScript 6. So for example, let's review the arrays. Arrays, we're gonna create an array. We're gonna add something like let languages, and it's going to be an array. Let's add something like HTML5, JavaScript, and PHP. So we're gonna send this to the console, and this is going to be an object, and you can see object right here, because arrays are objects in JavaScript. That's going to be something really important. Arrays are not arrays or data types in JavaScript, they are objects. So let's review, for example, the objects. Let person equals to, open the braces, I'm going to add my name, Juan, and I'm going to add country, Mexico, and we're going to send this object to the console, save right here, and you can see, oh, looks like we already have a person defined, so we're going to add person2 right here, person2, save this, and an object is an object in JavaScript. Finally, let's review the dates. So date, we're gonna add let today equals to new date, and we're gonna send this today variable to the console, and you can see that dates are also objects in JavaScript. At the end in JavaScript, you only have strings, booleans, undefined, symbols, objects as the primary data types. They are also known as primitives. So this is it for the data types in JavaScript. Something really important about the variables is that they can switch from different data types. It's important to understand that data type in JavaScript in a variable is defined by the value, not by the variable like in other languages such as Java or C#. So let's continue working in the next video with more features or more fundamentals of JavaScript.